Rapidly industrializing nation in the heart of Eurasia, Kazakhstan, world's leading exporter of oil and uranium. Despite the fact that Kazakhstan is the largest landlocked country in the world and is ranked 9th in the area, it has only a population of 16 million and only one city with a population over a million. Almaty is the largest city in Kazakhstan with a population of over 2.5 million people officially. It is expanding rapidly. With expansion comes a negative outcome, the pollution. Almaty is directly translated from Kazakh as a grandfather of an apple. It was called so because of its green valleys in between the mountains. But right now, Almaty is one of the dirtiest cities in the region. Pollution arose as a problem in the last decade. Many institutions in Kazakhstan and other parts of the Central Asian region were looking for the solution of this problem. Out from all of them, Kaz-Gibrovodkhod as the most realistic solution.
Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте.
Можете, пожалуйста, рассказать о вашем институте?
Currently, I'm a head of an institution called Engineering Institute of Research in Communication and Energy. It is a successor of one of the oldest institutions in Soviet Union in communication and energy studies. For the past 20 years, this institute was private, but still had a great variety of projects in communications and energy. Currently, our main goal is to modernize current heating station in Kazakhstan. Another source of unbelievable energy loss and energy efficiency loss is the distribution of it. Soviet systems can't efficiently handle current supply. We have a tendency in Kazakhstan of losing 30 to 40% of energy only in a distribution stage and transportation. Main problem with that is that Kazakhstan's main heating system is based around coal and other residual oil supplies burning. This results in a heavy pollution of the environment. In 2014, Almaty was doubling the pollution amount allowed. On the pollution scale, under 5 is considered a norm, while Almaty had 11.6. It was estimated that only in 2011 there were problems for over 143 million US dollars caused by this pollution in the health of Almaty citizens. Алмасагын is the most realistic way to clean the air. It was created by a combination of several researchers. A long time ago, in the Soviet Union Academy of Science, I worked in the Institution of Mathematics and Mechanics, where I had to keep track of the CO2 pollution of different cities, including Almaty. Because Kazakhstan was industrialized even during Soviet Union, the gas emission was disproportional to other parts of the world. Even then, the difference was noticeable. Almaty had a threshold limit value higher by several times, even during Soviet Union, before the globalization of Kazakhstan. Unfortunately, it's getting worse with every year. Right now, the main cause of pollution is the bad quality of gasoline, and the second is heating with coal. This is caused because we have to heat for 6 to 7 months a year, sometimes even 8. Furthermore, while our ancestors chose the place for the city, they chose a place surrounded by mountains to protect from the winds near the river. They chose an area with a very weak wind, and it appears as a problem now in the 21st century. Because of that, smoke stays in the city and is not able to be removed by the nature. You can think of Almaty as a soup plate surrounded by mountains, or Kazakh. Our data was taken mostly from the Soviet Institute of Mechanics and Mathematics, and therefore we know pretty well how the atmosphere of Almaty is reacting. There's no solution, but we have to clean it. Lately there were a lot of proposals of how to clean up the city, but overall the idea is a gigantic vacuum cleaner in all of them. We have to look at the unique aspect of the city, and we did, and we realized that the only solution is to create a gigantic microfilter or vacuum cleaner. All of us know, and you probably know when you're a housewife in the evening of the day, the most efficient vacuum cleaners in the world right now are the water vacuum cleaners. This idea was taken from the heavy industry, coal and metal production. This filter looks like a wall of water particles which filter out heavy particles of the air when it goes through. We're not inventing the water filter. They were already proposed by other inventors, but they never understood how much they have to clean up, how much air there is. Almaty has a mountain valley circulation, that's how we call it. When the sun rises up, it heats up the air and it goes up. It's expanding and therefore traveling upward to the slope of the mountain. Several decades ago, this smoke area came 1600 meters above sea level by the noon. However, now it's coming up to 2500 meters. By following the red arrow, you can visualize how the air is heated up and is going up on the slope of the mountain. Then, due to the low air heat capacity, after the sunset, the air is mentally cooled. It decreases in size, and as you can see on the blue arrow, it goes back down into the valley, down from the mountains. Due to the circulation of air, air travels upwards and downwards the city 2 times a day, after sunrise and sunset. On any perpendicular to the air travel line, we can build a gigantic filter which will be capable of filtering out heavy particles of the air. If we build a long line, we can have air circulating from south to north and from north to south 2 times a day. A gray shaded area on the diagram is that water filter, an idea created by Sherik Burkitbayev to clean up the air in Almaty. Алмасагын, directly translated as a waterfall in Almaty, is a plan of creating an aqueduct stretching from 10 to 30 kilometers from east to west of Almaty city, depending on the funding. It is planned to use city's elevation difference to build an aqueduct with the water as a bridge for water transportation. Water particles would be equally distributed on the whole length of the aqueduct in between apertures. Aqueducts which range in height from 5 to 20 meters, depending on the funding, as well as area where it was planned to build. The easiest way to achieve this idea is to simply elevate back big Almaty Canal, an artificial river created by Soviet Union for agricultural purposes. Building an aqueduct ranging from one to another part of the city may seem impossible. However, it is the most reasonable solution to this ongoing problem of Almaty's pollution. After spending numerous hours on this project, I came to a realization that the biggest problem is not the lack of ideas. It is a financial aspect. Federal nor city government is willing to pay for this project. They're not willing to spend money on something that will actually bring benefit in future, not right now. Billions of tenge is too much for private investors to sponsor. Therefore, Almaty is waiting for government to respond. Scientific and engineering solutions for this ecological problem are already created. Now it only has to be built. Let's hope for the future of Almaty to be as bright as ideas of this institute. I hope that the government will positively respond to this request as soon as possible to avoid damages to citizens of our city.